we are going to be welding up some stuff on the 3rd Gen 4Runner over here. It's time to burn in, man. We got the new stuff labeled up. We got the Coastal Offroad front bumper. This thing turned out absolutely beautiful. We did steel it on it. All my angles, all my grinds, all the welds look freaking awesome. So that all turned out. Oh yeah, dude, look at that. Freaking sick. So we are going to be doing rock sliders on the side of the car right here. We got the Coastal Offroad. So this is the #1 pieces right here with the 2 angled cuts here and here. What we're going to be doing is welding on plate #2 onto the ends here just to cap them. So that's kind of the first thing we're going to do here. I'm going to be using my Multimatic 215 Miller. This thing's pretty nice. I like it. That's the settings that I'm at right now. I'm using 030 wire. I did have 035 in it before, but it ran out and I bought 030. Coming down after that, we can see our piece #3 are going to be these guys right here with a nice bend in it. So it's 3, and I'm calling this 3.5 because they didn't have this on here, but we are going to have to notch this in. It'll basically be notched into that. Number 4 are these ones right here, these plates, and then we got these plates as well. Those will kind of go in the top. 5, these are the pieces that kind of bolt on. 6, these are the angled pieces that stick out from the frame rail, and they're already cut at a 10-degree angle, so we're going to stick with that. That'll kind of kick them up more of a boom like that. 5, these are the other plates that go on there. 5.5, because I don't know what these ones are yet. 5.5, again, I don't know, but I think they bolt on underneath. These are the gussets. That will be kind of like this, up underneath the chassis eventually. So I got those all labeled out. It's to 7. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to clean this up. I'm going to hit these, grind them real quick. I hit them with the DA on 140. Cleaner, and more you prep your material and surface area, the better your welds are going to come out, and better penetration and all that stuff. Get that flammability out of there. I want to say they're almost quarter. Oh. Okay, these are 3/16, I guess. 3/16 steel on my little gauge. I thought some stuff was quarter. Oh, maybe those other pieces. These are, I think, quarter. These are beefy boys. Yeah, these things are 1/4 inch thick, so it's all very heavy duty, and it's gonna look good. To get this dialed in, and we'll keep on burning. All right, so I went ahead and burned that on right there. Burn those ones on right there. Welded these up right here, right there. Looks pretty decent. It's whatever. We're gonna grind this and round this all out so that it looks super crispy basically when it's all done. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because at the next point we're basically gonna be welding on right here. And so that's it after it's ground down. Quick, do the same thing to this. I mean, you could just leave the welds. These wouldn't look half bad painted and whatnot, but yeah, we're just gonna grind it off. So I went ahead and sanded this all down with 140, got the edges all smooth. And this is what really makes the difference on this stuff, is like having rounded out edges, like is taking the time to really like do good finish work, because the finish work is what you will see when you paint it. So like that's raw with 40 with a flapper, you know, looks pretty good, but 150 with the DA looks a lot better. Went ahead and just cleaned this all up, cleaned up all of my corners, because we're not going to be able to do any finish work on this when we're done. Also just kind of cleaned up where we're going to be welding in the future. So the first one, went ahead and clean this all up. This is where the notch is gonna go, so I clean that up. Probably gonna TIG weld this and all of this. That way it just looks super clean. And then the top plate will just get welded in there as well. But for now, we're just gonna tack it up on the inside right here, so we basically do not see it. So this is where the real fun begins. They gave me this one. It's notched, but or it's just straight cut, but there is no cope on this, no coping, no notching on this one. So basically it's gonna go to the front, and then we need to figure out how to notch this in, get it at the correct height, all those fun things. So I just went ahead and just kind of cleaned up all the surfaces that are going to be welded. So like right here, that's going to be notched in and welded and all that stuff. And now we're basically on to the well, the notching. So I went ahead and cleaned these up too around the edges. So when you're welding these, also just think about it. You want to do something that's going to be good looking. So, you know, if you do like an inch, skip an inch, an inch, skip an inch, skip an inch, kind of draw it out at first and just kind of figure out what you want. That way when you lay down the beads, it looks really good. And it's not like one's super long, one's short, super long, short, that sort of thing, because that is going to be a visual. I'm not going to be grinding this down at all. This will all be exposed pretty much. I guess you could kind of smooth that in if you wanted to, but then again, it would be multiple welds. They say do not weld this whole thing, as it'll warp. I guess you could kind of do it in stitch welds, and you could probably go back and weld up from underneath, but eventually I think what I'll do is we're going to take this, and then I'll probably get my buddy Arlo to take this stuff up here as well, because I think it'll look a lot nicer. So yeah, now it's on to notch time. So I just kind of drew a line. I'm gonna temporarily just hit a cut at approximately 45 degrees. This welding table is awesome. It's got these little jigs I can put in here, clamp this pipe down, which is great. They kind of look like this. You can put a pipe in there, which is freaking awesome. So we got this plane pretty dang flat right there. That looks good to me as far as the degree goes. Pretty lined up there. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and notch that with a cutter like this, and set it up. So I just kind of did that freehand sort of practice notch. Obviously we'll go a little bit deeper in the top, in the throat, and a little bit deeper in the bottom. So maybe I'll just notch that out a little bit more. But that's pretty much what we're looking for. You can see that's pretty straight right there. I did it, obviously I did it on long. I just wanted to do a quick practice piece because I didn't have any in this particular tube. But yeah, this is basically what we would end up doing. So I pretty much took that same angle, tried to chop it at that same angle with just literally just my pen, free-handed it, and then up in here just kind of started hitting it with a flap disc, kind of just coping it and that sort of thing. So it looks pretty good. We're gonna get that really dialed, and then I'll chop it back and do it for real. So I got my practice piece that I did long, but basically I just eyeballed it with a Sharpie marker, or Milwaukee Sharpie, sorry. I set this to the approximate angle, so, you know, at a straight 90, basically on that really cleanly. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that one more time. Get the appropriate angle on this. On here, straightforward. We'll go ahead and clamp this down. Wish I had a degree finder on that, but I don't. So now pretty much just take our angle grinder piece right here. Ayo, this thing fell. Let me get back to you after I cut it. You could see, obviously, it needs a lot more notching at the bottom. So I'm gonna start at the throat, basically the bottom of it. So this is kind of how we have it right now. We're tacked up. We're gonna do another notch. This was basically my initial notch and kind of my representation of what I'm trying to do here. All right, so I went ahead and notched this all up. It's basically just chilling right there. We got to tack it on. This notch looks good, but we got to get it all kind of where it needs to be. So kind of along the lines of that. And then this one is along the lines of that. I guess I could get the fit up maybe a little bit better. Go a little bit deeper on the throat right there. Just a smidge deeper on the throat. And then we can get that upper a little bit tighter. But yeah, looks really good. Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, wrap these things up good. Oh yeah. 1552s, analogs in a 16 by 7.5, 6 by 139.7. 106.2 millimeter HUD and a backspacing of zero offset. So should look pretty good. This is the way the 4Runner is looking right now. I should have waited because I literally got these wheels 4 days later. Grill's off right now. I got to put that back on. But this is kind of how the offset's looking at the moment. You can see it's quite a bit poked in. I want it to be at least, hopefully at least flush. I don't know. We'll see. So if not, may add some spacers to the car in the future. I don't know at the moment. So pretty poked in. I actually got 5. I'm just gonna go ahead and only mount 4 because I still have the spare down here, and the spare is, well, it's like a podunk spare, and I don't really think I want my new wheel just hanging out down there on the trail and getting just tore up on stuff. So once we get like a rear bumper installed and all that sort of stuff, we will get the new wheel mounted up so it looks nice. We're out here, Southside, Iraq, going down to my homie's tire shop. Oh yeah, Southwest Tire, always hooking it up, always doing a good job. Yeah, and they don't look too awful busy right now. So I think I came last Monday. They were pretty busy. It's only been a week, but it's time to get some wheels and tires mounted up, man. Alright, so I went ahead and notched this all up. It's basically just chilling right there. We got to tack it on. This notch looks good, but we got to get it all kind of where it needs to be. So kind of along the lines of that. We're going to use this plate here. Now, it could go like this. This last one, this is going to be only like this on the driver's side tank. But you can see I have an RCI skid. Maybe you'll have a Coastal Offroad skid. But what we're going to do, loosen this bolt up. I got to try to drop this bracket a little bit, and hopefully I can have enough room to get in here. And we're actually going to slip this in between, and we'll end up self-tapping these into the top and then basically welding to this plate. So all these are going to be standoffs to weld to. Here, this is the one that's going to go on the passenger side up behind the exhaust. So tacking or welding the nut on the back side is going to be a good idea. I want to kind of have it flange up so it matches.
Would have cleaned the oils off and then ground the mill scale off. It doesn't want to TIG through mill scale, and that's why MIG's so nice.
Right.
You can just weld right through that shit.
Right.
See, this is a cleaner one. See how those edges are reacting better? See how it's moving?
Yeah.
And those edges are moving clean. Little dirty there.
That looks. Sliders are basically all welded up. My buddy Arlo TIGged these up because I just wanted them to look nice and pretty, if possible. You know, get the highest quality product that we can. So you could do a little bit of something different if you wanted to here. You could grind this down, kind of inlay it or whatever. I just decided to put both of these kind of on the top. I think it's going to look good. We can hit this with a little bit of the DA real quick, and then let's go ahead and really we're just going to paint them up. So I think I'll hit them with some acetone as well, just to clean it and start painting on the first one. We are going to be using Steel It. This stuff worked absolutely amazing last time. I like the charcoal. It turned out extremely nice on the bumper. As you can see, it looks great, besides the spot where I dropped the bumper in the rocks, and you can see it actually built up quite a decent amount of mils right here. I dropped it too. So anyways, those are two spots that I need to hit and touch up, but with the Steel It, you can actually you can hit it on there and it should lay down nice and flat, and Gander approves. And then I'm kind of got them down on here. I'm gonna get those kind of in the area and then all tacked on and then taken off. This little spot I did end up having to drill a hole. Unfortunately, I didn't really want to drill a hole. It was my hopes I didn't want to, but I don't know, maybe yours is different. I have a late model that the offset from this was going to allow me to like just put one hole or use a hole up in the frame bracket, but unfortunately the way that this whole cross member is, it's not going to allow you to have that happen. I have this Milwaukee Insider. I'm going to be using that guy and trying to get a nice tight inside hole, because I already got this hole here, and yeah, it's just one of those things. I put a hole in already and it just wasn't lined up. Got all these installed. I went ahead and had to drill a hole in the frame. I chopped this one so it would be kind of less close, but kind of the closest I could get it to there. The reason I couldn't really put it here is it just doesn't have a lot of space, and then there's this weird bracket behind, solid on the car, to weld it to the frame and everything. So this is kind of how we're gonna do this. I kind of wanted to go with the standard length on all these, but then I kind of didn't like how far it was sticking out. So what I ended up doing is cutting this back to where it just kind of lined up with the seam of that rocker. I don't know, I just felt like that was better coverage of the actual rocker itself. As you can see that seam right there, before it was like pretty far out to where I could see that whole thing. So I just felt like, I don't know, if I get a rock up here, it's gonna smash the body panel, like even on the back side. So this just felt like a little bit more protected. So what I went ahead and did is I cut the back, and then I cut it too far, which is great. Don't do that. Don't cut it too far, because then you end up with one that's too short. As you can see, that one's now a bit too short. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe I'll freaking grind it, weld it back together and extend it or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I went ahead and welded that one on, just tacked it. We're gonna pop this off real quick, and now we're basically just gonna run we're gonna start running our beads on it, and then we're gonna do our reinforcement plates as well. So welded up all the legs and everything. Those all look pretty good. I'm happy with it. Looks pretty nice. So yeah, now it's on to paint. Basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this with a DA real fast. Just clean up a couple areas that I scuffed up. And then yeah, throw it to paint. We are going to be painting it. I did a video on this, but seal it. This stuff is absolutely amazing. We'll be doing about 3 coats on here, and then hopefully I don't bang it up reinstalling it. Go ahead and put these on. Got the jack stands right here. That is where I bolted to the frame. I Kryloned or whatever. I don't know what I did. Rust-Oleum the whole frame down here just to get it fresh. I had literally like the OE sticker with the VIN on there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just freshened it up real quick because why not? There was just ever so slightly a bit of surface rust on there. So, but this other one goes back here. That's the one with the welded capture nut because of the exhaust. So you get to weld a nut up on that way. So bolt is gonna go in from this side, and this one, the bolt will go in from this side on here, and we'll kind of cinch it all down. Here they are, Steel It charcoal. Turned out really good on the rock salt. Like, look at that, guys. It looks freaking amazing. Kind of rotate this. It's actually the first time I've rotated it, but that looks really good. One thing I should have done after making these up is I should have hit these with a DA. I'm gonna do it on the other one. You get to see just one piece of splatter there. Like 2 little pieces, just a little bit of splatter. Not a big deal, but you know, just something to keep in mind that you know, when you're welding, you'll get a little bit of splatter. This is 75-25 argon mix as well. So anyways, like, you know, there's a little piece of wire there and whatever. So anyways, I could have cleaned that up a little bit better. That's going to be hidden under the car. This is the part that you will see the most of. So, you know, doing those nice TIG welds on there are going to look really, really nice, and just kind of throw it down looking really, really pro. So I did 2 coats on this. If I need to do another in the future, I will. This is one area you got to remember when we go to bolt them in. I don't know if I'm gonna have to grind this, but I do have a die grinder, so if possible, you know, you kind of want to leave these areas kind of open. You can kind of see where it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I think I'm going to put the top bolts through like that. We'll kind of do that, and it'll help line it up. So this is the one where I welded. That'll go on the top. Like I said, I just tacked that up and did a little capture nut on there. This one, I did notch this side. So kind of when this actually goes up here, you'll see that the plate is notched because of that cross member. So I went ahead and I just cut that all the way down straight where that bracket was a little bit longer. Let me show you the stock one. You can see the factory plate is a little bit longer, so I basically just notched or just cut that whole side off right there. So I turned that plate basically into that plate, and that allows it to clear. So this looks really good, matches the bumper, bolted all up underneath here. So that is how it looks for the bolts. You know, maybe doing them one way and the other way, that's kind of what they want you to do. This one, I didn't do that because the muffler is kind of in the way, and I nutted it on the other side. But anyways, it's nice and tight. Tucked it up as far as I could to the frame. This is the gappage in between the pinch weld. That's kind of what I did with it. Kind of put it right up to the pinch weld. Maybe you'd want to put this right underneath the pinch weld. I don't know. But that's kind of what I ran with. And I think they look really good. You know, a little bit more offset on the car. Eventually, possibly bigger tires in the future will look really nice. But this is going to offer a ton of protection. along with the front bumper. It's just a sweet freaking look, so I'm definitely stoked. Got to go ahead and weld up the other side, make them pretty much identical to this. The gas tank one's going to be a little different because we're going to do like self-tappers on that, but yeah, overall looks good. That is very straight, nice line down the side, and man, that looks really awesome. So that was the other thing I wanted to show. I've been getting in and out of this for like over a month, stepping on this, and it looks really good. Just like powder, you know, it would scuff and that sort of thing, but overall very, very durable paint. So I have been loving the Steel It. And if I want, I just touch this up real quick, super easy, or I could like clean it, but you know, who wants to do that? These things have been on the car for I think over 2 months now. Been stepped on, walked on, all sorts of things. This is how it ended up getting installed. I did use some thread checker, basically to make sure the stuff doesn't come loose. 1, 2, and then 3, and then you can see that's how the inside is all set up. And those are the gussets. Turned out really, really nice. Let me show you guys the other side. Now this side looks great also. Again, getting in and out of the car looks awesome. I haven't cleaned these up or anything. They just turned out really good. One thing I should have done on this side before, I did actually beat that with the screwdriver. I did not take that back off, but that one was hitting a little bit and making a little bit of noise. So keep that in mind. Up underneath here, this is where you're going to tech screw the one for the gas tank. There's the OCI skid. That's how I kind of did those with bigger tech screws. And then you can see all of these. Also, these pieces, when you trim these and weld these and cut these are all different sizes. So you kind of have to do the front one and the back one, and then make up for the space on the middle one. And I would just tack that together. You can see this is the middle one right here. This is the underneath piece. I just kind of trimmed that up. That worked out great. This one, again, I did notch the inside piece on there, but there's the gusset. I did kind of mount these at sort of an angle, as you can see on the gussets. That one's straight there, and then that one's straight there as well. But overall, these things are awesome. They look great. Install is super easy, and I highly recommend these. They are really nice and stout, and the bolt-on version is super cool.